What is good? What is good, chat? Welcome to the New York session over here. We can see volume is starting to increase in the market. That's good. Price is starting to kind of like push here a little bit more. Get this nicely sorted. Yo, definitely starting to get a little bit more activity going on. You can see previous candle here had a lot of volume at 116 million. That was a pretty nice candle over here. We got the breakout. That's where the breakout came from. This was a pre-New York Open breakout trade. Look at the delta as well. So that's looking pretty good. All right. See what we have here. See if this live counter is working or not. View counter is not working. Holy. Still showing, yeah, something weird going on here. Something weird. Showing one person. Might be the stream key. I don't know. Dude, YouTube's doing me dirty. Crazy. Sorry, we need Twitch. We need Kick. We need Twitch. We need these other platforms as well. YouTube's a monopoly right now. T1. All right. So, what's going on here? Price shot up. Boom, boom. Little retracement. Go and get a little retracement over here. Retrace back into this, what do you call it? Like a little accumulation zone right over here. Getting some orders in. Trying to push back up above. If we look at our order flow here, you can see aggressive buying coming in here at 700k. It looks pretty nice. Let me see what the averages are. Oh, wow, look at that. The sub button works. Amazing. Amazing. Is YouTube fixing something? These guys been my channel's been weird for the past couple of months. I never once saw that freaking subscribe thing. Like, what's going on here? Wait, let's see. I think what happened is a viral video ruined my channel. I had a video go viral and I think it ruined the channel a bit, like the metrics a little bit. Because that one video hit like fucking 40, 50 million views. I think it messed up the metrics. Let's see. So we're still below average right now. Price is moving up. We're below average. So we still definitely need to see the average is still the same from obviously from the London session since it's hourly candles. But the delta looks good. The CVD looks good overall. Looks like we're increasing here from 7, 6, 7, 10, 12. So as the New York session's opening, we're starting to get a lot more volume coming into the market here. Let's see. Trump will obliterate all of Iran's electrical energy plants, oil wells. All right. Trump deal will probably be reached. Trump, great progress has been made. Yeah, we should then be seeing some volume come in here for the week up ahead. Currently at the moment we are pushing upwards, so we are definitely seeing a lot more potential moves to the upside. But we're gonna have to wait and see how this daily candle here kind of like follows through for us. Correct? That's gonna be heavily due on the macros, and nobody knows except Trump what he's gonna do next. I become the thing I swore to destroy. I'm still using the price action as a key thing for sure, But this, actually, might have been a bit arrogant. Oh, not arrogant, but what's it? Maybe arrogant. I don't know about this because I needed to see for myself. And the good thing is, it's not fugazi because when volume comes in, you can see the orders increasing, right? During a point where it like makes sense. I always used to think like this thing was kind of like fugazi, but because I already know how to read the candlesticks, I'm now using that knowledge to see if it makes sense with even with the orders coming in, because there's certain points in time where we should be seeing more of these bubbles, correct? Like we just did see with the previous hourly candlestick. So it's quite accurate. The CVD is also accurate because I already know how trending markets should be behaving. So CVD looks accurate. The delta, actually, I think as far as I've seen it perform, it seems to be accurate as well. So is the volume, man, especially the volume part as well. Whenever we don't have like enough volume, you actually kind of see it in the candles. So far it seems to be accurate, which I guess it is because it should be pulling straight from the CME, correct? So we gotta use it like as a confluence, right? As a confluence. And actually, not just for me, but for my students as well, because what I realize is sharing somebody experience, telling them to be disciplined sometimes might not be enough. But when they have some like numbers or something to kind of back up when they're doing their analysis, they look at something of the sort like this, they're able to hold themselves more accountable and say, let's say if you're looking for a breakout and there's low volume, right? And you still take the trade and you see there's low volume, at least now you can be sure why that fake out occurred, right? So that's what I'm going to be teaching. And I think that's just the best way, because a lot of people are going to struggle. Like they're going to say, oh, I got caught in a fake out. How do I avoid a fake out? No matter what strategy you trade, Fibonacci's, IFVGs, there's always that problem of how can I be a bit more consistent, you know? And especially if you haven't had a profitable strategy and tested that for a while, like I have, you don't have that connection with it. So it takes time to build it. Unless you're already very good at reading price action, you're able to pick it up like this, and you're already good with your discipline is good, is unlocked, you've done that character development and inner work already, then it's much more easier. But if you had a little supplementation like order flow, then I feel like once you get to understand that that's not as complicated as you think it might be, it will prove very useful to you. Like for me, yeah, looking at this, I used to think it's super complicated, but I've only realized now it was just the people teaching it were overcomplicating it. And it's the same thing like with our price action. Some people can overcomplicate the teaching of how to read price, correct? Man, I picked this up already like over the weekend. Like everything is good. Everything's moving the way it should. I've been paper trading this for a minute now. It's literally the same way. And look, if I didn't know what I was doing, why am I still getting the results I'm anticipating via using the software? Because I'm already at a level that I can pick things up a lot quicker, correct? And what is that indicator called so we can adjust it? The trading view indicator is, it's a anchored volume profile. So I'm going to put it here. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. We got a low volume node right here that price can move through. And you know what this is essentially? This is the point of control. That's a value. You can think like a value area kind of as well. But you can see this is where most of the orders are being transacted within this price point right over here, correct? So that's like a POC. Usually with point of control, we kind of anticipate point of controls can get respected. Price boom, boom, boom. And then moves up. So that's why low volume nodes are areas where price can move without much friction and not the opposite. Because here is point of control. There's a lot of friction at point of control, especially determining who's going to take it over. Session volume profile is better than anchored. I like to draw it myself. There's a very more edge you get from understanding price action and being able to draw it yourself. I don't want to get a session because even with the session, I'm not sure you can use it on the 1 minute though. It's probably like 5 minute and above. But you know, when I draw it myself, I can see, because there's a certain area I want price to move through. So I can see more refined how price is going to move through that zone potentially. So it's better with the anchored because that's a bit dynamic, whereas the volume fixed range profile doesn't change. Any action on the war map? Let's have a look. Close this. Let's close this. Come here. Open up Conflictly. Any action? Yeah, we're still having, but it's come down a bit though. You see only Iran's lit up. Iran internet blackout exceeds 700 hours. Damage expected. Explosions near the Isfahan, Iran. IDF exposes military complexes at Revolutionary Guards University. Let's see. Nothing with Trump regarding the planned strikes that he had. Nothing with Trump yet. Middle East lit up over here. Iraq is not lit up. Relatively calm for markets. That's starting to build up nice over there. Let's see. Here, boom, boom. Kind of like low volume area. Not as juicy though. I think right now you kind of wanna look more for buys. As you can see, overall cumulative volume delta here has been moving up. It's been increasing. Increasing. Buyers as well coming in. Buyer aggression here. You can see 950k. Definitely a little bit more volume than what we were seeing during the London session. But still be cautious because you can see the volume here is, the darker it is, the less volume basically. So for visual purposes, you can see the difference of what kind of a day we're trading over here. But you see some orders are coming in still at that 4.6, 4.6. Oh yeah, look at this. We had a seller trap over here. A seller trap here, a point of control at 45.69. As price is shooting up. Potential seller trap right over here. I see we do have an imbalance on ask to push price, and then another imbalance on the ask, which is good because if you're looking for buys right over here, then you want to see those imbalances coming for ask, right? Price continue to move up, but you see we had some kind of red node over here. It's not the most obvious, I guess. It's not the most obvious seller trap, but I think with that pre-New York time and the increase of volume in that specific direction with Delta and CVD, you can anticipate that being a potential trap, especially with a bullish imbalance in there too, at the POC, right? Which also became POC. All right, so I think that was a pretty good move. It's like a fade. It's like a fade of this area because we were like heavily rejecting that zone. We were heavily rejecting that zone right here, and then we came in with volume. But you see the value areas here are not so big, if you realize. They're not so big. They're pretty small. That's 70% of the volume traded because price all day has just been consolidating. It's been ranging like this. Right? It's just been raging like this. So you see now volume value area here has increased by quite a lot. This is good to see. We're still below average on volume though. Need about 20 more million. At least to have something interesting. Boom boom. Nice stacking. Right here. Boom boom boom. Not seeing any divergences at the moment. Just price action. Oh, nice. We're getting through the FTZ. So ideally would like to see price move through that level. It's already starting to mop up some of it. Right? As it heads towards this next point. That would be the target up here. That's where price should be heading up towards. Right here. But the volume nodes are kind of like, since it's dynamic, the anchored volume profile, you can see we can just keep adjusting here as price is moving up. It's facing a bit of friction now. That's like a 12 pip area, but there's a lot more friction here at the moment. Let's try and refine this a bit more. Looks like the same data is coming out. Yeah, but we gotta focus more on the buy side as of now. Right? You also got that POC right here. And if you would want to draw it like this. I don't draw it because, I mean, you can actually just draw it here. You can just like, what do you call it? Like activate it. You see this? This is a POC. You could actually, in theory, just activate it. But we can see it. So we don't really need it on the chart. I feel like you gotta make it a bit thicker. Should we leave it on the chart? What do you guys think? Write a 1. Write a 1 if we're gonna leave it. Write a 2 if not. As a POC. Now if you can change the line. Boom. Or just maybe makes the chart a bit more messy. What's POC stand for? Point of control. This is where you see buyers are having the point of control over here as price is moving up. That is so true. Order flow is not that hard. I use it in a simple way. There is buyer's absorption at the moment. I don't see it. That's why I love this software here, because it shows you the volume, right? So when you say buyer absorption, on what time frame? Probably it's a time frame you're looking at. But I try and look at the higher time frames because they're gonna give like less faulty or less quick signals in terms of this volume, because you can see with London how long it took for volume to build. So volume is not something that I want to rush. So I need like a good hourly closure. Price can keep pushing up through this wick. You also got some clean traffic here on the left hand side. A little clean traffic to keep moving up towards that resistance point. That's like a 4609 area over there. Oh, he pips at like 109. So you gotta break above like 49, what's this, like 45.98. Volume is still low at 47 million. Delta is pretty good, 2.4 million. Let me see what the average delta is. All right, yeah, we're above average. We're definitely above average. That's good. A lot of buyer aggression, that means. Today's not been a trendy day in terms of volume at all. We got low volume over here, but overall CVD has been moving up. So we'll see. Maybe it's gonna try and accumulate, so it keeps moving up. So you can tell it's not so free flowy today. The only free flowing candle we had was this previous hourly candle over here. Market open is gonna move this big. Yeah, we just got the, what do you call it? The New York session open here about 25 minutes ago. See, volume is starting to come in again. Look at this. A lot of volume has been traded here. Oh, like Laura did say, a lot of orders are coming in, yeah? Volume could be bigger. A lot of orders coming in. I believe once this gets to 70, volume gets to 70, we should see it start to lighten up a bit. This is nice. A little possible accumulate, what do you call it? Liquidity grab below 45.92 over there. It's coming back down to retest POC here on the, what do you call it? The volume profile. Just redesign this. Yeah, that's what we want. Looks like the oil shortage is inevitable. Right now, I'm kind of being cautious about that. All right, let's see. We got another potential area here. It's a small you could call it a volume gap, a volume void. Right over here for the sellers. But you see, there's a lot of volume being currently traded here. And you see how that's lining up actually quite nicely with what's currently going on price action wise. And we also got this point of control area here. It's a sticky situation. I would rather see it move up, to be honest. Because it's a lot less friction to the upside. Even using price action, let's not forget about price action whilst we're looking at all these indicators. Because now you can see and see where this candlestick are lying, right? And you see that's lining up beautifully. With the sells, nah. It's more supporting a move up. Thanks for all you do. Surprised to see you in New York, though. I always see you during London. Yeah, I think, like, why not, man? Why not? Anyway, at the end of the day, this is what I do, right? So it's either this or go to the gym. But I'll go to the gym later, I guess. Why not? Why not? Why not? The money is at NY, baby. Oh, the money is at NY. Yeah, I mean, people are gonna like, what do they call it? The cash session. The thing about trading is you gotta trade like any time anyway. Asia, London, NY, it doesn't matter. Trade anywhere, anytime. So let's see if price can actually follow through here. Volume is still low. I would say that's the thing about today. That's been like the struggle. It's just been it's been volume. There's no volume. Yes, there's direction. We're up 1.37%. Awesome. But it's always been like a trickle to the upside, which is very difficult to trade. It just keeps trickling, like breaking, pulling back, breaking, pulling back. But yeah, on paper, we are creating a bullish day. But in terms of the order flow, we can see today has lacked of volume quite a lot. And you see the thing with us, like if we don't have volume, it's hard to trade. That's why when you get like a move like this happen, previously down over here, look what happened. You take a buy over here, volume is lining up at 116 million. You know, volume came in and look what happens. You get these juicy moves. When it's like low volume, what can you do? We're even still below average, so it's a lot harder to anticipate below average. You'd even rather have an hourly candlestick be a little overextended, be above average, so you can still get a push, even like this. You know, another 20, 30 plus pips, then consolidate. So it's been a bit of management for me. I'm currently at break even, right? You're not buying this? No. Me too. I'm happy you're doing NY halfway asleep in Europe session. And now we're gonna start earlier a bit, like because of daylight savings. So I gotta have an early pre-London, which is actually nice, I guess, because between I got my pre-London, then New York opens up. It's trying to go through the resistance there. A little bit of an inverted to clean that range. Oh, nice. But there was no setup. There was no setup confirmation. However, we do know we're just looking at buys having a higher edge right now in gold. But yeah, pre-London earlier by 1 hour, not a big deal. London session being earlier by like 1 hour allows me 3 hours before the New York session opens up. Is this live why there's only 2 viewers? No, it's YouTube. I gotta send them a message after this, see what's going on here. Yeah, it should be filling this range though. We should keep moving up. We're getting into a new low volume gap here. Just need to get through this small point. Then we have a bit more volume up here. Less friction of around what was that, like 70 pips. So you see how it lines up beautifully with PA. So that's what you want to see. Whenever you're going to use like an instrument, software, indicator, it has to line up with PA. That's why we say you can't just rely on order flow alone. If you don't know how to read the PA, then you can't like confirm that what you're seeing should be making sense. How much do you need to make for the day to call it a day? 1 or 3%? 2%. 1 or 2%. And you know, we're approaching the end of the month here as well. Something else to consider. Tomorrow, that's going to be the 31st, end of the month. Oh yeah, and this week is hectic, guys. We didn't even go through the forex factory together yet. I think Powell should be speaking today at 10:30. So about like yeah, pretty soon Powell is gonna be speaking. We're gonna see again some fireworks. And throughout the week we're gonna have a little bit more going on here. You can see we have a JOLTS job opening, core retail sales, ADP, NFP on Friday. Oh, we got a bunch of bank holidays here. Unemployment claims. We got a bank holiday for Good Friday. UK banks are closed. But I will still be on the chart on Friday most likely, because the US bank holiday is still, doesn't seem like there's a bank holiday here. But we got NFP on this day, so there should actually be some kind of volume. Yeah, but watch out, got a bunch of ref holders this week, holy. Which can be a really good thing if we start to see volume come in. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want to see volume come in because, you know, like this also requires volume. You see, if we don't get volume, then we're going to get more of this. If there's no volume, more of that. So you see already how that works. That mental that I had even before using the software, and how it still lines up with the data. How that works. High volume gives us much more chances. Low volume gives us more fake outs. Now, as a novice trader, how are you going to see this? How are you going to see it? You're going to need some kind of tool to get an idea of it. That's where this comes in. Starting to see a bit of activity. Look at these orders coming in. Orders are coming in nicely. We're about to hit average here. Just need 5 more million. Fucking Delta looks amazing. Delta, both CVD and candlestick Delta look good. This is really building up here nicely. It's building up. It's building up. It's building up. You can see it. Oh, like 5 more million here. We'll get to average, but it's building up. We might see some further upside. We're already up 1.46%. And we have a volume gap here. Maybe we just gotta call it a VG. No, that's gonna confuse people. They're gonna be like, what? There's no FEG up there. What, bro? There's no FEG there. We call it a follow-through zone. Nice. Look at the volume increase. We're about to get to average 67. This is good, man. I like even taking a trade below average like this with those other confluences would still be good, because at least you're getting in like a bit early, but you're getting to a point where you can see the build up as well. We see we just got sell imbalance here, 5.5 million on the bid, right? This could be a potential, but the node closed bullish, so not such a strong signal. But there's a sell imbalance right there. Now pushing through this, you see low volume. So look at this. Look at how this is lining up. Yeah, that's why I say you got to learn how to draw the volume profile too. This is a low volume, and look at where we're heading up towards on the software here, on the order block software. We're heading up towards outside of the value area, where there was low volume being traded. So you see, this is what I mean. Like when things line up like that, you gotta make sense of it. But you can't do that without knowing how to read price action first. So TFX concepts is a template where now you're going to layer this over. Correct? And then that gives you a brilliant edge. And you can see it's quite simple. Honestly, there's a handful of concepts that I'm using here. You don't have to drown yourself in data. And, you know, that's how you're going to build more capacity to do what you got to do. So we should be seeing this thing actually push. We're about coming to average now. There's like 300,000. 300, 200,000, 100,000. All right, what average volume? You see candles not moving anywhere yet, but volume is increasing here. Like, yes, we're moving up and volume is still moving up, so it's good. I see buyers had like a small point of control by 45.95. However, in terms of entry confirmations, there's still none. No entry confirmations. Just reading order flow. How many more minutes do we got? 20 more minutes for the hourly closure. This is shifting here a little bit. But still a lot more friction to the downside for potential sellers there. So we can maybe even just remove this. A lot more friction here. It still has a bit of that range to fill, which is roughly 35 pips. So don't be quick to jump into absorption theory when you see price move like this and wonder why we're not like skyrocketing. The volume is good, but it's not like incredibly high. It's just at average, literally neutral. But it's still good to see with a confirmation. See, we got any news 2 hours ago. On the 5-minute bar, for confirmation for me, needed to break the lows and it didn't. Yeah, gotta be careful with those LTF readings. Because it can quickly, let's say for example, let's go on the one minute here. Look at how quickly it can change. So you gotta load up the chart. And first of all, I need to change the ticks. This 50 is a bit too high for this. But look how quickly it can change. But overall, I guess it could be nice visually. But I see overall like low volume. This not strong signals. It's showing us low volume, but it's still moving up. So you can see it can create a lot of absorption issues already. That's something like the 1 minute, the 5 minute, maybe in the 15, 30 minute. I found like the sweet spot, at least for me here, is 1 hour. Where we don't also have to keep reading the numbers. This is fun, man. I freaking love this. I love this, man. It's very interesting. Very interesting here. Because before this, you got to rely more on your discipline and your experience. But seeing it kind of like releases that pressure. So it might even look like I'm making it more complicated for myself, but it's actually creating myself much more release of pressure here. See volume coming in? Look at this, 75. We're floating above average now. There's no seller traps over here. We just had some selling nodes, but price is still moving up. Point of control. Now we're getting through the, you see this? This is that low volume area. Follow through zone. Now we should come up to fill up the range on the 5 minute here. So beautifully lining up. Really nice. Entry confirmation wise, could have been one here. I see now in hindsight, after I'd already kind of pushed. About like 26 pips. Not the cleanest, so that's why. That's why it happened here after getting the confirmation. It happened in 2 minutes. That's why it was easily missed. But it's also not the cleanest. But you see, still played out. You know, difference still played out here. Because we're getting an increase. Previous hourly candle had lots of volume in, so we're anticipating a follow through. That's why I said, like, don't think of this. Don't be quick to always jump into absorption. I think that's a trap that you can find yourself in when you start looking at order flow. It's like continuously looking at absorption. Price is still moving. Maybe you can call absorption if price on this hourly starts to close really weak. Leaves like a top wick up over here. Maybe start to see some selling pressure come in as well. Some selling nods. Then we're gonna use that data as so you see more sellers are starting to come in here currently. But then we're gonna use that data more concretely. Overall, we're still seeing a lot more bullish momentum. Sellers are trying to come in heavy, but the buyers are still holding. Okay, remove this. We're gonna draw a volume profile again here because we've already almost like filled this entire area. Now they still have a little low volume up here. Keep pushing. But that's all. You see sellers are coming in heavy. That's starting to take control a little here. You know what would be crazy? If the delta was, let's say, negative right now. If the delta was negative, this would be, and the volume increased like delta negative, this could be a potential fake move, fake out coming. You might even see like ask imbalance over there. Negative delta. Could be interesting. I see sellers are coming in heavy. It's basically equal. It's consolidating at this moment in time. We got at the value area 2 buyers, 2 buy nods and 2 sell nods. Of course, the candle is still open, but that's what's currently happening. 8.1 million versus 7.8 million for the buyers. Look at that. Interesting. But it's still not enough for to be jumping quickly into sells. But if you were already in sells, it'd be a nice thing to be seeing right now. If you were in sells somewhere around here. Maybe as the range already got filled. Depending on how you trade in your confirmations. But yeah, volume is good, man. We're like 80 million, 81 million. Delta's decreasing 2.6 million. So this sell is genuine. This genuine sell is pushing the price down. So how many more minutes we got? Like 12 minutes before that next hourly opens. So that's why I said it's important to see how that hourly is going to close. If it pulls down a lot more, it could be a sign of a reversal here. Or a potential pullback down. But as of right now, it's still open. We're just seeing sellers trying to take over this node. It's kind of tight. It's 9.4 million versus 9.3 million. It's really tight. So you can see this little bit of accumulation here. They're just literally fighting for that node. Damn, 9.8 million to 9.8. It's a draw. Who's gonna take the node? Oh man, the sellers are coming in. But you see, delta is increasing. Delta is increasing for the buyers. Even though the sell orders, the sell bids can increase. If delta is going up, then that's more of a sure sign. Because overall, everything is still bullish. So I'll be paying more attention to that. See, it's at 3 million is still holding here. Aggressive buyers still. Overall, look, 10 million, 10 million. It's at break even. Let's see if buyers can take this over for like even a second. See, just get a fat buy order come in right now. That would be nice. 10 million, 10 million. Nothing too interesting here at this point. This would be like if you were planning a sell of, let's say, a breakout here, it would be like an early sell signal that you're going to have to manage if price starts to pull up a lot. Because you want to see it weaken, right? Because you can see the selling pressures come in. Here, they've taken over the node. That's created a point of control right over there where they've been trading a lot. All right. So that's what we've been witnessing, and we can see it here on the chart work as well. But if it starts to pull up, just to be cautious, although delta is decreasing, it's still high. Just a real battle over there. So how much they get? Wow, like 38 off that drop already. Nice little scalp. See, just nice little scalp. You want to be cautious about that. You see how it's flipping to green? Because it could be a quick what you call it? Like Trojan horse over here. Because it's giving that illusion of selling pressure, which is true. It's actually, it's there, but it's going counter the delta. So it's not like a long-term perspective. It's, or rather, let's say it's more risky as a long-term perspective. But you see the point of control here is also shifted. Isn't that interesting? Look at the way you have to draw those volume profiles accurately. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. So you got to learn how to draw them. See how point of control is shifted to where we see point of control on the order flow? It's marked by the yellow box. Right over here. See how that lines up beautifully? So you see, you can never escape genuine education. You have to genuinely want to learn how to trade. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you're going to use order flow or whatever it is. If you can't read price action, you can't trade. Simple as that. You can't trade. If you think you're going to look for shortcuts, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So that's why I try and show you now, whilst using these softwares that everybody wanted us to use, to still see you have to need the education. You have to still put the work in. And you see why I was able to pick this up so quickly is because my foundation has been set. I can build a mansion on this foundation. I can build the Burj Khalifa on this foundation because it's a solid foundation, right? We can build any kind of building on it. And you only got to do that with PA. And then this is amazing to see that line up too. Really good. Looks like a surprise. Yeah, the sellers are coming back in again. It's a huge point of control here. It's even now. So it's not going to be easy for the buyers to push it back up for sure. Delta has also decreased. So that's a genuine struggle that we're seeing. Starting to decrease below 3 million. I would say if it holds 3 million in the context of where it is right now, that would be really good. But you see it's pulling down. So it's potentially absorbing buyers over here. But we have about 7 minutes for candlestick to close. Because you see price moved up. You see, look at volume is increasing here as well. But if volume increases and price remains the same, like within this general region, and you're seeing sellers come in like this, it could be a possible absorption of buyers. All right, if this candle here closes weak with high volume, because it didn't go anywhere. And what will be interesting is now if we start to see some imbalances form. See the charts for today. If daily closed bearish engulfing, looking for a sell here. Or should I wait for another resistance to form? Should this candle be valid as an entry? Question: if this doesn't break the top wick for entry, if this should this be kind of valid for as an entry? Oh, you see this question this guy asked over here. If he had the order flow and understood how to use it, it would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? If he was able to see if there was an absorption or a struggle here, sellers coming in, maybe a few imbalances, that would be giving him a bit more of an edge. But now we have to look at the price action first and then develop your character to understanding psychologically how to relate to how this pair is moving. That road typically can become longer if you're a novice trader, generally speaking. That's why this kind of like helps understand that part of it. It's like a shortcut, you can think, in a sense, but you still have to put the work in at least in the beginning, to understand how it works, which is relatively simple. The whole idea is not to drown yourself in all of these order flow concepts and all of these indicators. It's to focus on what works, right? Like full pin charts, understanding the correlation between bid and ask, and just a few things you're going to use as confluence, correct? Because now you're able to keep up with the price as well as being a scalper. But should this candle be valid as an entry? It shouldn't be, because this candle here, you see, there was no volume for this candle to re-break the previous candlestick highs. So when that happened, it created like a lower probability that this candle can keep moving up, correct? It doesn't mean you should sell. It just means that this buy here didn't give you the buy probability. And if you look at this one here, this candle closed above resistance, but this candle was not able to break above the high. So what do we typically know about a structure like this? Low volume. I typically don't trust those kind of moves, right? It happened to us earlier on. There was a setup that formed. I was waiting for a breakout. The candlestick broke, and then it hit my entry confirmation it went through it by 0.2 pips. So the wick looked like that before it retraced down. And I was watching that play out. It didn't give me enough confidence to come in, because you get this kind of like an effect, right? We get this kind of like an effect that you can even see here, which typically would most of the time result in like a reversal. So in this scenario here, what happened today was it did that. It retraced like 8, 9, 10 pips, and then it actually shot up like about 25, 30 pips. I got in a bit later. It couldn't reach my break-even point. And then after hitting the TPs on that riskier trade, it pulled back against me. So sometimes the market will do these little tricks, and it's only up to you to understand what concept you're trading and how the market is able to manipulate that concept. Manipulation can happen in different layers, right? They're the big wicks that we see, and then there's sometimes you get your entry confirmations be a little bit off the mark that makes you feel good about them, but then still ends up playing out, and it puts you in a position to take the secondary option, which is for me sometimes kind of like risky. If you miss the first option, then the market forces you into the secondary option. If there's no volume, especially as what we had today, there was no volume to keep pushing in that direction. So more chances of pullbacks as it moves up. But you see, absorption doesn't seem to be the case here right now, because the hourly is about to close in 2 minutes, but we've regained this node. It's still neutral though. 13 million versus 13 million, but overall looks solid. Because you see, if absorption was to happen, this would be like risky for this candle and the market, because we want to keep moving forward. Correct? Because we hadn't had like very nice moves the whole day up until New York. You can see here with that previous candle over here with 116 million. So I don't want to have absorption now. I'd rather like push up a bit more. So this is good. Also, the delta is increasing as well. We're holding 3 million now. See, in context to where we were, that average price is also going to be able to shift potentially. Let me see what the average is again. The average is about 418k. So wow, we're way above right now. It's because of the previous candle over there. And what delta is as well, it's if I remember correct, it's buy minus sell. Buy minus sell is how you get the CVD. No. It's a nice little accumulation build right here. Might have to readjust the volume profile. Let's take it from here. It's new point of control. Oh, but still the follow through zone is still nice. We'll call them a volume void. A VV, volume void. Still a lot more struggle here. There's a little volume void in there, but overall lots of volume here towards the downside. So a lot more friction. We want to see it push up. Oh, new hourly just opened. Oh, nice. Previous hourly closed at 100 million volume. 3.4 million delta. Very good. Very good. CVD is also increasing. See from 6.4 all the way to 14.3 million. This is really good signals. There's no absorption or anything here. It's a genuine move to the upside. It's genuinely trying to push up. Although the sellers were coming in heavy on that previous node at 14 and 14 million. You can see that battle that went on right here. That created a point of control. It's lining up with our volume profile on TradingView. Because we drew it correctly. It's not a session. It's not something that's going to be automatically drawn. But we're going to draw it. So we're going to make sure it's lining up. See this? We've created a bid imbalance of 1.2 million. Okay, looks like it got filled. It got filled. There's an imbalance there. I think they closed out. I think the sellers got scared when it pushed and they quickly closed out, potentially. Now you're having the buy imbalance. Look, the buyers coming in. 1.8 million. There's some serious psychological play happening here. Because they can easily be trapped. Easily. You see buyers getting confident. Look at this. 2 million imbalance. Buyers are getting confident. 2.1 million imbalance. Even though price is retracing, they're still adding on positions. We got delta at 600k. That's increasing as well. It's nice to see. They're increasing. They're increasing. Some real psychological work going on here. Look, seller imbalance. Look, that seller is coming in as well. It's almost like digging into the mind of two people. Just two people, right? But that's the thing about trading and data. When you have enough of it, it can always be looked as more accurately. So you can imagine studying a group of 100,000 people, you're going to get like better than if you got to ask each individual one. Like if you focus on a smaller sample size, or let's say 20. If you get like 100k, you get like better results. Better sample. Just the same way as when you kind of build a strategy like this. So I've been trading for 6 years now. You're gonna see like the larger your sample size, the better that data is gonna reflect. And you're gonna ask me, how do I channel my emotions when I trade? Is by relying on this data. That's how I do it. So if I go through a losing streak, I will always come back to this and say, hey, if you ran it up once, you can run it up again. That's what I like to say. You gotta run it up again if you can run it up once. You just see the same thing like in business. A lot of people, they just give up too quickly. But if you can run it up once, you gotta run it up again. But the thing is not to shy away from doing what needs to be done. Taking those risks, correct? I've taken a lot of risks in life, not just in trading, in real estate. In the software itself costed me maybe $150, but I found out you don't have to pay that much, but I paid the maximum for it because I wanted to get the most value out of it, right? Whereas a lot of people, they gotta shy away even from spending $50 on a course. Man, I spend $150 on this just to see what the fuck is going on here. That's the difference between why I'm up 100% and maybe you're still struggling, is you have to take more risks in your life, you know, because this is a cutthroat game. This is a cutthroat game. It's not only me who wants this. There's a bunch of people willing to do a lot more than I did even. You know, so I approach business and life the same way. I take the risk, I get my feet wet, and at least then I will know. Than to be forever stuck in limbo. And I think Joe Rogan spoke about this as well. He said the worst place you can ever be is when you don't do anything, because it's like a hell. It's like you're gonna feel stuck. Right? You're gonna feel stuck. Because Joe Rogan was speaking about how he took risks in his 20s to be the point that he is today. And he said if he never took that risk, he would feel stuck, like a stuck depression or something like that. $150 a month? Yeah, it's actually not. But I ended up spending like somewhere like, not 150, but wait, let me try get the conversion. I ended up spending, I think I said 150, my bad. I think I ended up spending like 100 and maybe 20. But I found out you don't have to spend that much. It could be as low as, let's say, 40 bucks. 40 bucks. 46 maybe. We'll see. It's because I got the full thing. I tend to do that a lot. Like even with TradingView, when I was looking at how to protect the source code on my indicators, I just paid for the full package. Instead, then I later found out you don't have to spend on the full package. But that's just my character, man. And it's a reason why rich people, you always wonder, how do they spend so much money? This guy spends money like on a watch like this. He spends money on ideas like this. Because the relationship to money that you already have to become at that level is not a penny pincher. So for them, it's kind of like the relationship to money is different. So my relation to money is very different. I don't penny pinch. So via not penny pinching, I allow myself more opportunities. And if you think you're going to start a business and be successful in it without taking risk, then it's not going to work out. It's just not. It goes against the laws of physics to be able to become wealthy and not invest in yourself. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, nice. That's why I said the universe has a way of keeping the door shut, you know? It only opens it for the people who are gonna like want to open it. But anyway, we got the volume node here filled up, as you can see. That was already properly filled. There was nothing left above this point here. We just got a bit of bid sells coming in, a little imbalance on the bid. This price is pushing back down. Trying to fill a bit of this value area there. But in terms of entry confirmations via PA, there still has not been any entry confirmations. So that's the difference between just reading volume, order flow, and understanding the correlation between PA and order flow. Because yeah, order flow can give you this data, but there's still no consistent approach to the data. So order flow is nothing without having this part of it as well, which is a PA. Having this. And then you use that as a way to line everything up. But it's setting up beautifully over here though. So we can readjust this point of control to, which is crazy. We might have to use a much bigger range at this point. Yeah, we're gonna have to go big. Oh, but there's nothing. This is where those session profiles come in play. There's nothing. It's not as easy to draw this. So you're gonna have to scale back a bit. But I guess that's lining up as well. This whole zone is a volume void, even on a much bigger scale. So that was lining up with the LTF volume profile too. So that's good. That means this whole area here is a low volume void. Which if you look on the daily again, it's what we call clean range. You see this as price came through smoothly. We're expecting that it can correct that as well. But in terms of that, not the greatest. I think the only thing we can use is maybe a potential sell. We have more data for the sell that's lining up with the order flow as well. And we can see the bid came in for an imbalance of 4.1 million. Sellers are starting to push in. See below the point of control right here, and they have like a volume void as well, small one right over here. It's still a little bit choppy for them on the way down because of this section right there. And they're also, oh nice, the delta's coming in for them as well. Negative 200k. Definitely below average though. See, that's not a very strong directional bias, but it is negative, and we have a buy imbalance right over here as well. You see the buyer's trying to pop this thing back up. But you see, this is why I like to see where the overall CVD is. Because if I get where the CVD is going, that also helps me stay out of these kind of unnecessary, you know, there's also like some kind of an unnecessary fake outs people get caught in a lot of the time. So this is a very simple one to follow by either using the free indicator in the description box or following the CVD here. We gotta keep you out of those trades. Would you create a video explaining what software you have and how to set it up? Yes, but that's gonna be a different wait, do I have it here? That's gonna be a different subscription for sure though. Because it's still, I need to get paid for giving that information as well. Like I give a lot for free. This is so much for free, right? But I think with my experience, I should at least be getting paid for it. That's like asking a doctor to gonna do it for you for free. Man, I have a buddy of mine who's a doctor, but he still wouldn't do it for free, right? I met up with this guy like a week ago, and we're driving around the town, and he just got back from the UK, and he's like, yeah, I've been saving a lot of money working and etc. And you know, I bought these few apartment blocks over here, showing me his apartment blocks and everything. He's a good friend of mine, but he's not gonna do it for free. So we're gonna have a separate version of that for the serious traders. Because like trading is like an art, right? Like people are gonna do this for like 6 years, 10 years, and it's the same way as like if someone asks you after all those trials and tribulations to hand it to you, you obviously don't want to. But we're still below POV, right? What's it called? Like point of control here. But I feel like this is gonna reflip. I don't think it's a genuine POC that we're below it. It might be a fakey, like 4601. Delta is also quite weak anyway. But listen, you still need the foundation. Don't jump straight into order flow. If you can afford it, awesome, go for it. But if you can't afford it, you can level up to it, right? Because you still need the foundation part. That's what the mentorship is mostly giving. The main mentorship is the foundation part. You will still need that before order flow. But that's also being taught in the order flow as well. It's really, really important. Yeah, this is accumulating beautifully. As I said, this point of control is probably fake. What's most likely going to need to happen is what I would think would make the most sense. Anything can happen in the market, but I think what would make the most sense, because we have a very low volume. We have a volume void up over here. So I would say the best thing that kind of would happen is like if price wants to keep moving, it pushes up, and then it will create us a new area where we can draw the volume profile and get like a more data as we continue to move up and retrace like this. Because as of now, this whole area is a volume void. And yeah, sellers are trying to push in again. Wait, let me see what the average is, because we're down negative 3.350. Ooh, we're actually right below average. That 350. That's why 300 is holding, kind of. We're like flirting with 350 area over there. So kind of like flirting with it. That's the average. So if we can crack 350, this move could hold a lot better. But just because it moves down doesn't mean delta increases as well. It could actually be the opposite. This could move down and delta could also increase. Only 2 people watching now. No, the what do you call it? The stream counter is broken. There's actually 87 people in here. Yeah. The lone wolf. Always gonna be the lone wolf. I think it's been destined for me. That's where greatness comes from. Bringing solitude. That's where most of that character development is built. So you gotta be okay with solitude. With just locking in. You know, because if you don't lock in, you're gonna get locked out. Alright, let's see. Let's adjust this right over here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's heavily accumulating. You can even see with the volume voids that we're currently in. Heavily accumulating. So I got like some kind of a resistance here and support. So you can see with the PA. Awesome. So what does this mean for breakout to the downside? We want to see more sellers come in, right? If we look at Delta, look at what Delta is doing. We're almost hitting 1 million. That's pretty strong. That's a lot of seller aggression that's coming in. That's why the buyers are trying to balance that with a buy imbalance, because we have a lot of seller aggression here. So you see that's why we got 4.7 million as an imbalance for the ask. Correct? Because buyers still want to overall hold the CVD. But the thing that's lacking again, it's volume. Volume is lacking again. Volume is lacking again. But volume lacking, an increase in delta, and a bit more bearish nodes here could actually be a nice confluence at the break of the lows for a push with that POC. But I don't think the buyers are going to give it up that easy. So we're going to see an increase of delta most likely into the millions before breaking down here. So you need that volume to, those orders to come in. Let's see, do we got any divergence? Yeah, no, not yet. No divergence. But you see the bids are going, the ask is going up here for the buyers. The imbalance is increasing at 5.1 million because they're really trying to push this thing up, but they run the risk of being trapped. Right? They run the risk of them trapped, but they're going with the daily trend, which is up 1.36% right now. They run the risk of being trapped. You know that imbalance could close right now? They could close that imbalance, but that would allow the sellers in. That will allow the sellers to come in if they kind of like open the door. You know? So what can happen sometimes is if they get spooked, that imbalance could actually shift and open up. But if they don't get spooked and they keep holding and price keeps going down, then the people are going to be trapped over there. There's going to be like a confirmation confluence for you. Very nice. I think this is I can comfortably say this is the only live stream you're going to get this type of clean information. This type of clean information, especially PA and order flow, man, I promise you, this is one of the only live streams that you're going to get this kind of a clean information. Trust me. A lot of value here. Because we've simplified. It might just still seem complicated now. 100%. I was like this literally last week Thursday. What you're seeing right now and all this crazy stuff going on, that's how I was seeing it last week Thursday. But since we've already had like a strong foundation and a good approach to knowledge, that we are able to understand concepts a lot faster over here. Totally, like sometimes you gotta wake up and say, this is my thing. You know, like this is my thing, bro. Like no one can talk to me. That's why if you genuinely want to learn the skill, there's nothing that's gonna stand in your way. Nothing. If this guy can do it, why can't you do it? What's the difference between this guy reading order flow and you reading order flow? What's the difference? The only difference is how bad that each one of you wanna have it, right? So I wanted it so bad, man. I locked in properly, and the good thing is, without good foundation, you're able to propel much faster. So just start, man. Don't worry about your account size. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Please just start. That's what I recommend everybody, man. Like a lot of people want to start, like, let's say a vlogging channel, and you say, oh, you know, you have iPhone 8. Man, who gives a shit? Why do you need iPhone 12 or whatever the fuck it's on right now? Right? Just start with what you have. Because trust me, someone is gonna watch your iPhone 8 videos and not watch this other guy's videos like iPhone 14, because maybe you got more of a skill. So trading is the same way. If you're passionate about it, a lot of things are possible. Yeah, but here we're accumulating heavy. Delta is down again. It's actually reducing. It could be risky for the sellers. It could be a trap. Because you see the buy imbalance, look at how it's increasing 7 million. Naturally, as we're having a point of control issue here, which is also still lining up with the volume profile. But with the delta, okay, it's increasing again. But this should hold, because relative to what we've been seeing, this is still relatively in a weak zone. But if you can hold like theoretically like 1 million in context to being average, I think that would be good. In terms of what's currently happening now, if it could hold like 1 million. Because you still get buyer confidence here at 7.5 with that imbalance. So there's a reason there's a buy imbalance here. They're still feeling confident about this move. But if the sellers take over this low right over here, we might see some more sell orders come in right over here, which could put these buyers at a small risk of potential further pullback to the downside. Right, you can feel the weight. There's a lot of weight within this zone. And also we have a volume void down over here. You see volume void has been created. So if they actually take that wick, see, you got about how many pips? About like 15 pip right here, but they could potentially try and push it more. Buyers are losing strength. Delta is increasing. Negative 670. Man, we need like a big... You see these balls? We need like a huge buy order to come in. Try and prop this thing up. But you know, if candlestick was to move up, then the sellers here could be potentially trapped. Especially if they give an imbalance as well. So right now it's leaning more, yeah, bearish. Trying to push through it. There's another zone right over here. For me personally, I would not look for sells, however, because I still would love to trade with a CVD. Because what we've seen from earlier today, we've seen CVD at 6 million and it increased to 13 million. But it's slowly decreasing now. From 14.3, we're below at 13. See, like sellers are starting to come in. I understand why the sells are happening. But personally, I just would feel a lot better if I was to just wait a bit longer, even miss out on like a few sells to get confluence again for the move up. So don't forget what happened on Friday as well. If you were paying attention to the charts towards the end of a New York session there, like London close, the kind of pushes we were seeing to the upside. Because I would really be annoyed. This is like a scalp, yeah? So yeah, we understood why this like little 17 pip move happened, and we could see the build up of orders into that little break here by 45.90, which is an accumulation breakout. It would be technically a break-even trade even if I did take it, so it would not have made a difference. That's why I mean, like, you still want to be able to trade with ideally with the market participants who have been overall more confident, you know? So a move like this doesn't piss you off. Because those are momentary, like everything that happened from when we're speaking here to the break, that could even just have been data for that one moment. But when we're looking for data for CVD, overall CVD, we're expecting more bomber clot.
Bomber clot! Why are you running? Why are you running?
No only buys? Yes, sir. Wow, seller aggression is coming in. We're holding 1 million now. It's becoming more serious. Also with that break and retest. You see, sometimes that's why you also see sometimes price does a V-shape reversal and then still moves down. Because delta was a bit lower. That was still low. But you see now we're at the same spot, but we're at 1 million. 1 million. So that's why sometimes you might even see those types of continuations. Break above and then continue to move down. As seller aggression increases alongside volume. But we'll see if it gives a follow through here. If seller delta increases and price moves up, that could yield a pretty good fake out over here on this node, which is still part of the value area. Especially if you see this candlestick reflip, considering the amount of activity that we've had here that's created the point of control. That'll be quite interesting. Wait, let me take a video of this. Let's go take the view. Yeah, seller aggression has disappeared. I think they're getting absorbed. It could be like a small fake out play. You can see the liquidity grab happen below here. So basically the buyers were just letting them sell momentarily before coming in heavy. That's why we had this imbalance here at 11 million by 45.94. But you see delta is still quite low. It would need to reflip back into the positive. You can see the value area is really small. It only has 2 nodes in it because this hourly candle has just been consolidating. So lack of direction here. Volume is also quite low. So actually a time to kind of like stay out, sit on your hands for a bit. We're still below average for the move up. Below average volume for the follow through bullish. And negative delta while price is trying to move up. So buyers are trying to absorb the sellers right now, but they're still lacking. So we can just stay out. That's why it's been a real tussle here at POC. For the whole half hour that this candle has been open. It's been a real tussle. You can see it. Video game streaming was suspended. Yeah, no more video game streams. I got the source code for the fixed range volume profile. I got it from Nas. I took some time to figure it out. If you need, I can share. Oh, nice. How'd you get the source code? Can you actually... Yeah, there's no option, huh? There's no option to go into it. Kind of like the... What do you call it? The indicator. Or the tool. It's been working quite fine. As long as it's lining up with what we're seeing on the software, that's really good. Makes sense, right? Because how would you draw it like in a way that's going to line up with the software? So I think this is pretty nice. But you see why the follow-throughs are not happening here, Ricardo? Because that's where this comes in handy. This software. This is why I mean, like, it actually can help you avoid a lot of these fake outs. Didn't see that happen today twice. I ignored it the second time. I got burned. But I'm just used to taking them anyway, in a certain way that I do. So, but I've seen so far it's got like one up on me today for sure. Because every time I see the confluences and the breakout, it doesn't follow through because the data is saying it's not gonna be as possible or easy. And we're also coming into a sort of like a higher volume area here, slightly higher above the POC. It's good to have the POC and we're above it, but we still have a lot of speed bumps there. Something we could take a little bit more to try and even more avoid the fake outs, right? Because so far I've seen them show where the fake outs are, but I haven't seen them show where the fake outs are and price still move in that direction. So need a bit of data on that, but I still think overall, disregarding the ones that still move in your direction, having to understand where the fake outs are, you're gonna still save a lot on P&L and waiting for those that line up better, irregardless. The question is just whether of how many trades that you can potentially miss, but irregardless, you would still be trading higher probability setups. If the indicator has curly brackets in the details, you can see the source code. That's on the indicator here, yeah, but what about the tools? Like the volume profile, you can't do that. But we got secret trading view wizard over here in the Discord. That he gonna have some access. If you really want it, you'll find it. Those who seek shall find. Yeah, it's a real tussle, eh? You can literally see it. Seller aggression is coming back in again. Buyers are propping it up, but they're trying to... You see, that's what I mean. If they can hold at least 1 million, that would be something of substance. But as we're trading below 1 million even, it's not anything very... What'd you say? Like concrete? At this point. You can see them creeping up. 7. Okay, we're about to get to... Yeah, it's really starting to creep up there. $1 million. Yeah, they hit 1 million. As the break happened, they got the 1 million. Right there. 1 million. And they're still below average volume. But you see, I feel like that battle has been going on for so long. I wouldn't be surprised to see the sellers take it now. And like once you get through this low volume, there's a volume void right over here. Because the aggression is increased dramatically. We're almost at 2 million now, just like that, in 1 minute. In 1 minute, we're almost at 2 million seller aggression. That means the buyers here, the imbalance got trapped. You see in context of everything that was going on here, on this second go, with the data as well at 1 million, even though we didn't have the volume, sometimes low volume in these scenarios usually mean there's just no buyers in the way of that price coming down, right? It's the same way as the volume voids. If there's no like POC, because you can imagine price selling into a POC, what would you expect? Volume to come in, buyers. But if price sells like this, right, in a volume void, what do you expect? Just same way as low volume here. What do you expect? Kind of like go through it in context. So yeah, that's why I see how the sellers took advantage of this play over here, because you see that POC, that's where majority of the orders were battling out until price started to sell aggressively, which you could see at the delta coming at a 1 million. That's why I said if it was not a 1 million, it was not significant enough. So like here was like at 800, and then just shortly before it broke, it flirted with that 1 million mark. That's where a lot more of the sell orders were coming in. So in a situation like that, yeah, I could counter trend, what do you call it, like counter trend, take the trade in the context of the first one not being the full fake out completely. It was a fake out, but it wasn't like a full on runner fake out. Came up here to take out liquidity, then came back down to retest the lows, but this time with a much higher delta than it did the first time it broke. See, now it's at 2 million. It's filled that zone up. Here. Still a bit more space actually. But to come, this whole zone is still about 11 pips or 100 pips? No. This is 115 pips. Can clean this out. Volume is about to increase the average. Even though price is pulling up, seller aggression is still high. Definitely more sellers in the market. Seller aggression is going up and volume is increasing. So I think this is a retest. That was a potential retest of the high value area to come down. Or call like where the entry confirmation was, where the sellers got confidence in. You see, that's why we usually wait for breaks when we just use TFX concepts. But now you can visually see what can happen during those breaks, right? Delta can increase dramatically. That means more sellers are willing to be aggressive during those areas. So you can actually see it on the chart now. They're still pretty aggressive though. It's at 1.6 million. They're still pretty aggressive in there. You got a buyer node, a small buy imbalance here. Someone tried to buy aggressively. You see, that's what made this move up. That node is still bearish, but somebody tried to buy aggressively there. 6.3. What is Uncle Powell? Have you heard of the orb strategy? No, sir. Follow the flow. Follow the flow. You got a nice sell over here. Boom. Or open range breakout, but it's a bit shitty if you don't use PA, like 60% hit rate. Hey, 60% is not bad. It's really profitable, depending on how much it runs. Tap bottle today? Yes, sir. You read that. Definitely should open range breakout. Don't become an encyclopedia of trading, because there's a difference between knowing everything about trading and then actually trading. Oh, that imbalance cleaned up. I see the buyers got out. They got spooked. From up here by 45.94, the buyers took out their position. As price retraced up, they were like, I don't want to have to deal with this anymore, because now there's a probability we're going to keep coming down. Delta is at 2.3 million. You see the buy imbalance was mopped up. So whoever that is, smart guy, because once it started breaking below here, it's like, oh shit, we're breaking below support. Then it's like, okay, we got a retracement. It's like, all right, I'm out. Smart guy. If that was a much larger position then. I think he relocated. He balanced out here as it came up. He actually got in. I'm just assuming, probably not even one guy, but if it was, price would come down. He made this move up. The same imbalance that was created up here for the ask, it came unbalanced over here as well, somewhere around here. So if he may have pushed it up. He might have been over leveraged on the first position. So he was like, screw this. Let me spend this much money here because maybe there's a void that I can push up from that's not going to cost me as much. So he pushed it up just enough, not a break even, but just enough so it can cover some of those previous positions. Right? And then he's probably getting out completely here. That's why you're seeing the dump now, because see that imbalance. I don't know, but it's still active. It's still active there. But that could have been the play. That imbalance is still active there. But he just took it lower. If he gets out of this imbalance, I swear we've just caught onto a potential... Oh, he got out! He got out! Fuck, I love this, bro. I love this, man. This is actually so sick. You can literally see the market participants. I think that was a single guy. That was a single guy. He got out now, fucker. Because he saw prices coming down, and we can read this. We can see it. Look at the delta now. It's at negative 3.3. Holy. That's sick, man. That's so sick. That's so sick. That's so sick. Yo, that is mad. Let's look at BTC. You know, the orders on Bitcoin are insane. Look at this. 4.1 million, 51 million, 16 million. Insane. Let's see what gold is doing. Gold is relatively steady. I don't even know why it typically holds around that much. I don't think I've seen massive orders on gold like really come in. But Bitcoin's averages are huge. 311 million. These clusters here are closing at 22 billion, 44 billion, 54 billion, 104 billion. But you know, like Goldie has been having a volume issue generally of late. A lot of people trying to get out of the market. Cover positions in other instruments like oil. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, it's so sick how we freaking read that, man. That was crazy, bro. That was actually crazy. Mad. See, now it's over. The fight's over. It's calm again. I think that guy was really in a sticky situation there. Lol. I'm gonna try and see how we're gonna use this baby right here. Fabio Valentini. There's gonna be a new Fabio Valentini. This thing's just melting. Delta has increased to 4.5 million. And look, this is genuine because the volume has increased as well to 105 million. That's a genuine push. Look at the way sellers have taken over this zone right here. Red, 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 red. Completely melting, right? The volume node, we might have to draw a new one because we've exhausted this one. We have to adapt to market condition right here. Yeah, point of control remains the same. Good to see. Here would be the rest of that range. So we'd want to see it get through like 45.66 over there. Oh, we'll take more positions tomorrow. It's just the way my day has progressed here already. I don't want to get much risk on because I'm currently at a break even. So I don't want to have too much risk on. Just end the day with a bit of profit, 150 bucks. Then come at it tomorrow and it's pretty nice. When I get affiliate links, send me so I try it out. 100%. 100%. They haven't emailed me yet though. I don't even think they do affiliations, to be honest. I didn't see anything, but yeah, I'm still waiting on a response. This is crazy, man. Yeah, buyer came in again. I think he came in again. I swear down, I would not be surprised with the same guy who's been trying to buy all the way since up here. The buy imbalance just came in again. At least now he's come towards like this zone. I think he's got enough like a push. But if he just keeps buying, it's quite interesting because it's just kind of like paper cutting himself until it actually starts to move up. I mean, theoretically speaking, we can see how much orders would need to push price up. Correct? So, wait, I think you can actually do that by changing this to Delta profile. Or, wait. It's a volume profile. Delta 1 million has been traded at that point where he took the imbalance, so he might have keyed in, like, depending on, you know, when it was coming into it, there was nothing. Like if we start push down, there's only sellers below there for 59k. There's no buyers as it pushes down. It's only sellers. They're like 59k. There's the sellers getting triggered again. It's a low volume node, that area that we just dipped into right now. About 1.3 million, probably at a time, like if you got a couple millions to put into a position, you could probably push like this, chat. You could probably make that move happen, like the way this guy did here. So who has a million? Who has a million? Maybe 2 million. Put 5 million in, somebody. We see how it moves up right now. But you see, the thing is, you move price, but you get slippage as well. So it's not going to be all profit. Now you see we're coming into the low volume area. There's a volume void right over here, which should have like less friction. He's coming in. It's quite heavy now. He still has an imbalance right there active. They're kind of filling up a range. If you go on the higher time frame, what's going on here is this range is being filled. down towards support by 45.61. The break actually came from here down towards this level to fill this range. You can think of this as an imbalance. You can think of this as a clean range, high value area. You know, there's a lot of things you can consider it. Order flow is amazing confidence. That is for sure. You're going to help the game level. Yes, sir. And you see how we're making it simple and gamified? Man, our tempo is insane in terms of the simplicity and actually showing you this value. Honestly, even as learning this, man, I'm already teaching it better than the people who taught me how to do it. To be honest, bro, this is a passion. This cannot be faked. Anyone can fake a Lamborghini and sell you a course, but you can't fake this level of passion. That's why the influencers who do these things, like, they don't do it for free, right? They kind of like hook you with the Lambo and then you go into it and some chat GPT shit. But I'm gonna head out here, guys. I will see you in the next one. Hope you found some value here, and adios.